The back page of today's Herald Sun and the level of support that Collingwood might offer to the futures of Lockie Keeffe and Josh Thomas. What's your perspective here?
We've the club's taken a little bit of a beating around our potential handling of the welfare of these two boys, and we've said publicly at no stage have we kicked them to the curb, and we're in constant contact with them. We're dealing and speaking internally around any and every contingency, and there's still a lot of things that we don't know about what's going to happen with the rest of the procedure with with Asada and Wada, and where this is going to go. So there's still some things that we're not in control of, but the things that we are in control of is providing a welfare to these two boys, and providing some sort of understanding of what it would look like from a club perspective on the other side of it. And we've communicated that to them, and rather than it just being a football department decision, it's actually been something, because really generally the football department gives advice or a recommendation to the board, and then it's ratified. But this has had to have been something that we've discussed as an all club entity, and I think the club itself is handling it remarkably well. And it even came up in our mid-season review yesterday when we sort of sat down with the players and said what's worked, what hasn't, opportunities, threats going forward. One of the groups came back and said, I think we've shown with really strong resilience internally, with what has happened with two of their mates, Lockie and Josh. We've shown real solid care for them, but we've gone and concentrated and focused on what we've had to do on the other side of that, and I think we're doing that well. So, I mean, front of mind, but part of and in the mix of what we need to deal with as a footy club.
I was told, myself and Warner wrote that story, I was told the meeting at Maguire's house at Eddie's place, the players loved it. They just, because it was an opportunity just to go around and talk to the president. The players, you'd spoken to the players previously, Purdy and...
Consistently, yeah.
And Purdy and Gary Pert and Jeff Walsh. Barmy. Neil Barm. Together, they've been handling sort of the to and fro's of it, the mechanics of it, and Eddie just sat him down, and it was a bit of tough love from Ed. It was, you've done this, but at the same time, hey, you're Collingwood guys, and they walked out of that meeting, and they walked in with darkness everywhere, and at the end, when they walked out, there was just a little dot of light, and I think the players needed that. So we'll see what happens. That's probably going to look like they're going to announce a date for that hearing within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
We're all looking forward to that. Get some closure.
You go to Perth to play Fremantle, which has been described in various quarters as the audit. You see how you're going.
Is that right?
Yeah. How do you view the trip to Perth to play Fremantle?
Yeah, I'm in preview mode. Ruse is in review mode, but not often you sort of walk in on a Monday and you're going to play a game in a couple of days. But yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge. Both teams have probably reviewed, consolidated, and sorted themselves up for starting the second half of the year in as fine a form as they can. And we get the opportunity to travel, and we were just talking about it. And when you travel, you do get that consolidated feeling of off to go to battle and try and get the job done.
It's a gang fight. We're going away.
We enjoy. We've always enjoyed that at the club. It's always been something that we've enjoyed. We've travelled well, and we'd like to. We've travelled twice this year for 2 wins, both up in Queensland. But we'd like to continue that, and we know that's going to be a stern test. And we're looking forward to seeing how that turns out.
Very quickly, do you look at the Richmond Fremantle game, the last game, bearing in mind that a few comments are made that maybe Freo were a bit tired? I'm not taking anything away from Richmond; they were very good. Do you look at that game to take anything out of that?
Yeah.
How deep? How deep?
Oh, well, it's the only loss that Freo have had this year. So you have
very deep.
But you actually look at where they've won as well and how they've won. So it's not just. I mean, Freo's first 8 weeks were exceptional, and the football they played then was a little bit different to it, and so they've acknowledged this themselves to the rounds 9, 10, and 11. Adelaide, Richmond and Gold Coast. So their last 3 weeks weren't as strong as they were in the first 8 weeks. As I said to you when we came up against Melbourne on Queen's birthday, we're expecting the best Fremantle that they can provide, and we prepare for that, and we expect that, and we look to take the opportunities out of it, strengths and weaknesses.
If you were still playing, would you like to play on Nathan Fife?
No. Of course you would. Of course you would. I mean, when you're playing,
You're a beast,
when
I
you're a
know
good
that.
player, I mean, when you've, I'm not talking personally, but when you're in the competition and you're a standout player and you're a significant player for your football club and for your footy team, you want to take on the best, and it's a
He's the best.
yeah, it's a responsibility.